Okay, back to time out walking after a little break last week, doing another private walk. This week down in Billingshurst, today being Monday the 18th of April 2011. I'm doing the 14.5 miles from here to Amberley, so that's free walk number 8. It's a cracking day. A bit blowy though, so I'm definitely going to have to get the wind canceller out when I get up on the downs, if not before. Should be done in about 6.5 hours, aiming to get the 17:17 back to London. Trains from here are only once an hour, so important I don't miss that really. So I need to press on. It's now 11:22, having got the 10:02 from Victoria. So as I say, press on. Well, just 5 minutes in, having turned left onto the off the main road onto a footpath, and already this looks promising. Massive bluebells out, along with their white counterparts, which I believe is an enemy. Not 100% on that because I'm not good with flowers, but I believe that's what that is. So I understand there's some pretty good bluebell woods at the beginning of this walk, so this bodes well. As mentioned in the text, this footpath could indeed be very muddy after rain, but reflecting the shortage of rainfall we've had recently, no problems, other than it being a little bit rutted. Now the fence on the right has ended, get a much better shot of these bluebells. Absolutely, they're not quite in full bloom, but a massive blue everywhere in that wood. Delightful. It's amazing how the flowers have come out in the last 2 weeks since I was last down here. Don't quite get this abundance of flora up in Norfolk, which is where I was last weekend. Not sure if the camera picks up this shock of lilac. It really is fantastic, albeit that they're not in full bloom. There's what's described as a seasonal pond on your right in the text. Don't think it's seasonal, it's too deep. Wonder if there's any frog spawn knocking around. Probably not, because it's too deep for frogs. Nothing for them to sit on. Another splash of primroses. Easy walking thus far. Well, I've just come past the 2-arm footpath sign indicating that we go left here. There's no longer a big sign saying private, no horses, etc. And the wooden fence is down on the floor now. Obviously this walk was last yes, thank you, green woodpecker. This walk was last reviewed in 2007, so yeah, things change. Likewise, the rusted gate there is no longer there, but you can see the next 2-arm footpath sign where we turn right. And also next to me, as described in the text, delightful bluebell wood. Fantastic. Massive lilac. Lovely. Beautiful time of year this, as I keep saying. Perfect walking weather. Songbirds in abundance. As you can hear, that warbler. Looking at the bluebells from my right, sun seems to catch them even better from this angle. In fact, that noise in the background I believe is one of the tit family, not as I described a moment ago. Have still to see the wild boar that apparently live in this area, but I guess these fellas are the next nearest thing. Quite furry looking pigs. They must be quite hot at the moment. One in brown there is enjoying himself. Bit dry for them though. Sure they prefer it a bit damper. Footpath sign opposite Meadows and passing the house called Red Tiles is clearly now up and standing again. The site should be 4 years later after the text was written and it was on the floor. What a lovely spread of dandelions in this field. Absolutely masses of them. Clearly the cattle haven't been in here for a while. Just about to enter this wood here. Another fine splash of bluebells, just after 0.3 in the text. The aggressively fenced off wood, and it is as well. Moorhen or coot's nest there, not sure which, on that little pond. So there you go. Though the one swallow I saw last week in Norfolk doesn't make a summer, this second one certainly does. So summer's well and truly here. Weather says that anyway, but this little beauty confirms it. Delightful. Just cooling down from his long journey. Just doing some lane walking, about 900 metres of it, through a hamlet called Gay Street, appropriately enough. The hill mentioned at 0.4 in the text, starting to get a bit more downs like here. 1 o'clock now, just on the edge of Gay Street. As suggested in the text, it's a cracking view from the top of this hill. Delightful. I think I'll stop here and have me lunch. As it suggests in the text, it's a fine picnic spot and there's no church, chapel or other means of sitting on a bench in Nutbourne, where the suggested lunchtime spot is, That's about 15 minutes further on, I'd say. So might as well get out my newly acquired mat and enjoy this view. Fantastic. Okay, lunch has been had, 1:45, and there's a view of the South Downs in the distance there from a point next to the beadings on the map. That's the ridge we'll be walking along later, I believe. Right, this style used to enter an open field when the text was written. That's no longer the case. Looks like orchards are planted here, or has been planted here. So I'm assuming we go through this gate here, keep to the right of the field. Just passing the hollow to the left mentioned in the text, there's another splash of bluebells. Interestingly, not in a wood. Not often you get them outside of a wood because they don't like the sun, to my knowledge. Anyway, there you go. Just to clarify that the area of gorse mentioned in the text has now been cleared, and it's a lot clearer now which way you go. Also, I've exited by the 3-arm footpath sign as mentioned in the text, but via the other route closer to the hollow, not the steeply descending route. What glorious scenery. Delightful colours of green. And the yellow adds to it. Interesting. Couple of small, not llamas, they're the other ones, I can't remember what you call them, in this field. Just come through the new plantation mentioned in the text, and I'm about to go downhill. I hope these llamas are not vicious. Strange looking things. Clearly not, as I've just walked safely past them. Okay, 14:11. I'm in the village of Nutbourne. There's the recommended lunchtime stop. The rising sun. Seems busy enough. Mind you, having said that, it is Easter for school kids. And I haven't encountered that many people today, interestingly enough. Just one old couple. Just following this footpath sign, turning right out of Nutbourne, and I notice we're now following the West Sussex Literary Trail. Interesting. Not sure what authors that would apply to, but clearly enough to warrant a trail. Oh well, here we go again. Bullingfield. Footpath direction. Would you believe it? Right where those cows are. I bet the bull's in there somewhere. As someone said in the Ramblers magazine, why isn't our footpath electrified? I.e., the way the footpath goes, they should have an electric fence either side of it. would be no trouble to do that, and it would protect us. Good idea, I think. Yeah, got past the cows all right. Couldn't see the bull though. Anyway, it's Nutbourne Common over the distance there, I think, and remnants of its windmill, and I believe there's a vineyard over there somewhere. Very English scenery. Hasn't changed in a couple of centuries, I bet. Plenty of swallows around in this field, so summer's definitely arrived. Okay, just about to go across Nutbourne Common, and apparently there are adders around. A reptile I have never seen. So, all's the first time. Fingers crossed today. Nice warm weather, could well be out. This looks like perfect adder territory, but I guess it's a little bit too early in the season for them, despite the warm weather today. Shame. Not many places where they frequent, but this is one of them. Would have been nice to get one on camera. In the distance there, across the stream, you can just see the very tail end of this season's wild daffodils, apparently. As I say, not much of them left, but they're wild ones by all accounts, as opposed to domesticated. Very tail end of them. Just following this stream, there's a footbridge across it. Very pleasant walking. Weather's absolutely delightful. And the beauty of it is, there's hardly anyone else around, despite the Easter holidays. Just the way I like it. Well, here we are, another week, another golf course. This one's actually quite busy today. So that's where all the people are. Okay, those downs in the distance there from the golf club car park. As it says in the text, they don't seem to be getting any closer. Typical old English lane walking. Just walked past Waterfall Cottage, as mentioned in the text. About 3:15 now. Perhaps a bit behind schedule to get to 17:17. If I miss that, it's going to be 18:17 or something of that kind. Oh well. Well, here's the three-armed footpath sign mentioned in the text, where you have to turn right, otherwise you end up over there, which is the landing strip of a gliding club apparently. Our onward journey is up there by that bale, and the footpath sign is very clear now. Obviously, since the text was written 4 years ago, they've either cleared up the hedgerow or made it more visible or moved it. Anyway, it's easy to find, so no problem there. Now stood next to the bale, and as mentioned in the text, ahead of me in the distance there is the windsock, which we're aiming for, and still quite distant, the South Downs. Just on the quiet B road outside Cootham And the downs are now finally within stone's throws, really. There you go, Downsview Farm. Sells free range eggs. Delightful. At this point I make it on my pedometer, I've walked about 11.5 miles. So still 3 more to go. So here we are finally, having just crossed the B road at the foothills of the South Downs. And that's where I'm about to climb. Absolutely glorious. Okay, there's the bridleway sign in the hedge, but fairly clearly obvious which way we go, and then up onto the ridge. Pleasantly cool in here for this ascent, as it says in the text. Dense pine wood on the left, deciduous on the right, and bird song all around. Glorious. Just savour that for a few seconds. Robins. Almost at the top. And there's the field gate that takes us out of this wood. Yeah. There it is. Missed it. It was a great tip. Right, now out in the daylight, in the open, and I've come across a field of these flowers. Clearly a South Downs type flower. Have to check that out. But they are everywhere in this field. As you can see there. Okay, back out at Kithurst Hill car park, which is where I was a couple of weeks or months ago when I did the other Amberley walk, albeit in slightly different climate. Much colder then, but just as windy. So, the route back here is along the South Downs Way, which I'm familiar with and which I recorded before. So let's see if we get a different angle on it and test out the old wind canceller, which I didn't have last time. Just out of range. Not sure what that is. Can't see it properly, that's why. No doubt I want a member of the Chat family. Have to check that out later, as usual. Well, unfortunately, typical of my luck, it's a bit hazy today. So I'm not seeing much more than I did last time through the mist. C'est la vie, hein? This is now the view northwards, i.e. from whence I've come. Obviously some different colours at this time of year. Skylarks around as well. Don't recall them last time. Actually, thinking about it, last time out I did have this wind canceller. Just didn't have the attachment to secure it to the camera. Anyway, in the very distance there, not sure if it's visible, you can just make out, hang on, where's it gone? Sorry about that. You can just make out the sea through the haze. Just going to branch off here and take the Spring Head diversion, which should give us a good view of the town of Amberley and the river, if I remember correctly. So once again, because I think I filmed this last time, here's the information board about the Spring Head estate. Okay, how's about this for a vista? River Arun in the very distance there. Bit hazy though, unfortunately. Pulborough Brooks down there. Somewhere over that way is whence I've just come. Fields of rape and Pulborough Brooks from another angle as we get nearer to the Arun. Skylarks all around me. Delightful. Hope this camera's picking them up. Final view of the Arun before we descend. And there's the Pulborough Brooks once again. Just come out of the Spring Head estate, now back on the South Downs Way. Very familiar. Yeah, once again I'm out of luck. Last time it was mist, this time it's haze. But just about make out the murky silhouette of Arundel Castle there. Well, once again made it by the skin of my teeth. 17:11 now, train's due at 17:17. So here we are back at Amberley with its quaint signals. That was a delightful walk, all 14.5 miles of it. Very pleasant weather, that helped a lot. And that's taken me, what, just under 6 hours. So pretty good going. And there's the modern eco part of Amberley Station. And just for the record, my pedometer says 16.5 miles, but then again it never is 100% accurate. Right, that's it. Another lovely walk around the Downs. Fantastic. Free walk number 8 completed.